Hello again, and I hope everyone is well and flourishing and doing great. Okay, this time I'm going to show some videos regarding UFOs, in particular flying triangles. Now, I've been interested in ufology for many years, and I was lucky enough to be part of a group that investigated UFO reports in the 90s up until the early 2000s, which was called APRI, which is the Aerial Phenomenon Research and Information Exchange. And it was an interesting time, thoroughly enjoyed it, enjoyed being part of the UFO community, and still do. So as a result of that, I like to keep my eye on reports, and I like to see what's going on in the world of UFO law, as it was. And an article was brought to my attention of a particular video, which of course spurned the interest in wanting to do this particular video today and show these videos of flying triangles. Okay, so I'll show the web report and we'll have a quick rundown, and then we'll move on to the videos as always. I'll play them, then replay them, and then obviously at the end you leave your comments in the section below, so I've got an idea what you think about it. So let's move on to the web page and see what instigated this video. Okay, so there we go. So triangle UFO sighted, filmed yet again, first filmed in 2008. Okay, a triangular UFO dubbed the Dudley Dorito has been spotted over the skies of the Black Country in Birmingham. There's quite a lot of reports over the Midlands in the 90s and in the early 90s. Lots of reports of flying triangles over Belgium, which resulted in some F-16s being scrambled to intercept a flying triangle. I believe footage was captured on a gun camera. So the 90s seemed to be a big wave of flying triangles. Anyway, Quality Inspector Mr. Minesh Mystery, age 21, spotted the triangular-shaped object above the skies of his house in Andrew Road, Tipton, at around 10:15 p.m. on Sunday. It comes just a few weeks after a UFO was spotted hovering over Sutton Coldfield on the eve of bonfire night. Okay, and of course, this leads to looking at other reports and looking at other so-called sightings and web pages. We've got another one here, which is a bizarre triangular UFO was seen in low Earth orbit of NASA camera. That's almost like a version of a bog, but in a triangular form. Pyramidical, I'd say. So Scott Waring, a well-known ufologist, reported on a strange item in low Earth orbit that landed into the lens of a NASA camera in 1986. The ufologist is certain that a triangle unidentified flying object, aka UFO, was captured in the NASA image, which was captured by the STS-61C mission camera of NASA's spatial program. This mission, which included 7 astronauts, took place from January the 12th to January the 18th in 1986. And that is a big flying pyramid right there. Did they zoom in on it? Okay, so obviously that's an artist rendition on the right, and what we're seeing in the centre there is the alleged triangle, one would assume. So, very interesting. Okay, so the first report was about the Dudley Dorito, which is very aptly named and quite comedic. So let's move on and have a look at the Dudley Dorito ourselves.
Don't know what it is. Maybe I'm UFO.
Okay, so quite clearly a triangular shaped object, which looks to have a circular kind of thing on the bottom. We'll have another look at that one, and it's difficult to gauge exactly what kind of height or speed it's moving at. So let's have another look at the Dudley Dorito.
Don't know what it is. Maybe I'm UFO.
Well, bizarrely, my friend, if you don't know what it is and it's flying, then by default it becomes a UFO, an unidentified flying object, as opposed to UFD, which is an unidentified flying Dorito. But that's the one that was dubbed the Dudley Dorito. An interesting video, and clearly something alleges to show something moving through the sky. Let's have another look at, there's been many triangle type craft or objects spotted in the skies and filmed over the years. So we'll have a look at a few, and I'll show you another one which shows two. This is an interesting video.
Oh.
I always like the sounds and the voices of the people in the background while they're recording these videos. They're always fun to listen to usually. This guy is actually relatively quiet considering what he's filming. Interesting, a third object approaching those two, or appears to be approaching those two. Just heard his stomach growl. It is very strange. Oh, and now they're... Okay, so acceleration and manoeuvrability. And on come the lights, briefly. That was interesting. Of course, we usually see with these triangular UFO reportings and sightings and videos, lights appearing in the apexes, if you like, or the corners of the objects, and they did briefly on that video there. So that was an interesting one. We saw manoeuvrability and acceleration, which is always a good thing to see. Normally indicative of something actually moving rather than either autokinesis from staring at an object or just the fact that the camera's actually shaking due to the excitement of the camera operator or inability to keep it steady. We'll watch that one again. That's an interesting video. Okay, the smaller object from the right, is it possibly disc-shaped? Difficult to make out because of the blurry resolution of the video. Of course, I can only assume that they're hovering in position. Would they be moving due to airflow and turbulence? It would be very difficult to hold that kind of stacking kind of position that they're in the video footage at the moment. Like I say, it's difficult to tell if they're actually moving very slowly. But either way, if they're moving slowly or still, it's an interesting position to hold. Of course, the part there. And there's the flash of the famous lights, one on each apex and one in the centre. Interesting. Okay, interesting video. Like I say, with the show movement and manoeuvrability, which is always good to see on a video. So it's interesting. They do look like solid objects, but it's always difficult to tell whether it's CGI. It doesn't appear to be CGI. Well, let's move on to the next one. This shows a formation of lights which then become a triangular shaped UFO. So let's take a look at these ones. Yeah, the wow factor on people recording the video footage is always good too. And it's gone. Okay, so like I said a moment ago, the wow factor is always good on coming from the voice of somebody who's always putting this footage forward, and we're viewing it. To hear them excited or amazed by what they're seeing and what they're recording is always indicative of it being genuine. So that's always good to see. I'm going to replay that one and leave it till the very end, where there's a brief enhancement of the actual object while it's lit up, and then we'll move on to another video. But I'll replay that one and we'll see the enhancement at the end. Yeah, it actually accelerates away, doesn't it? Looks like it accelerates away, and obviously it maybe actually ascends with a degree of acceleration. And he obviously likes it, he's excited by the video. And in a moment we'll see a brief enhancement. It looks like he's filmed till its conclusion. When you see a lot of footage on the internet of varying things, here's the corrected video now. You can clearly see it's more of a V-shaped craft, or a V-shaped object in the sky, that it looks more like it's in the shape of a V. And then it accelerates away and looks like it ascends. Yeah, it does look like that is ascending given the cloud on the right. It doesn't look like the cameraman's moved too much. So that's accelerated away and descended, which is showing manoeuvrability and acceleration again. So we're seeing form, manoeuvrability, acceleration. Which we can see it a little bit longer now that the video's been enhanced. Very interesting. And as I was about to say, in a lot of the videos that we see, we will see the beginning of an anomaly or an apparition or an object in the sky, which is not unusual because people will notice it first usually and then press record on the video camera or on the camera phone, whatever they've got at the time. But a lot of the time it's not filmed to its conclusion, so we don't see what happens to the alleged footage that we're supposed to be viewing. And in that instance it seemed, that he hadn't gamma corrected it. That was done afterwards. So from his point of view, what he was filming disappeared, but he continued to film long after that, just in case. That's always good. And we're going to move on to another one now. This is a famous bit of footage, and you have to make your own minds up about whether it's CGI or whether it shows the TR3B Aurora. I'll let you do some research on that yourselves, but let's have a look at this one. This is another interesting video. Let's go. Of course, the good old grainy footage that we're used to seeing from these kinds of things. Always nice. Again, we see manoeuvrability. Good old pulse of light. Is that showing us a pulse engine or some kind of... and there we go. And a flash. And a flash and it's gone. So, is it CGI? Or we've seen video footage of the real thing. We'll watch that one again, just because that's what we're here to do. So, let's have a look at the TR3B. Like it always seems to go out of focus at the most convenient time. That's always a good sign. And see what appear to be vertical stabilizers, a flash of the maybe pulse engine. Quick zoom out nice and blurry again. Flash of light. And it's gone. It's out of there. So, there we go. Is that the TR3B, part of the Aurora project? Is that what we're seeing there? Is it clever, or even clever, CGI? I'll let you decide. I know what I think. And I'll move on to the final video today. I know this has been a longer one, but why not? And this one's showing... this one seems to be a little bit more authentic, if I can use that word. But let's have a look and let's see what you think. So obviously very bright lights on the apexes there. And the central light is red. That gets reported very often when it comes to flying triangles being sighted. Whether that happens to be in North America or anywhere over in the European continent, these flying triangles tend to have white lights on each of the apexes or corners and a red light in the centre, which is exactly what we're seeing here. And it appears to be stationary. If we look at the silhouette of the video footage, it appears to be hovering. The sort of flare that we're getting from the bright white lights, which is difficult for the camera to make out that level of exposure, well, without giving it that kind of striping effect, is usually indicative that it's the video footage is true or not manipulated in that sense. Again, could be CGI. Doesn't look like it to me. We'll have another look at that one. And you can see what you think. You can tell me what you think in the comment section below. So we'll play this one more time, do a quick sum up, and then that'll be it for this time. But let's watch that one more time. Sounds like he's filming from a toilet. It does appear to be stationary, or hovering if you like. With very bright lights on the apexes. And the central red light, which is reported very frequently with a triangular shaped craft, or alleged triangular shaped craft. This is actually a famous piece of footage, this. Okay, flying triangles. What do you think? Well, I have a confession to make. I myself experienced a weird vision, if you like, or phenomenon when I've seen what appeared to be a flying triangle. This was in the early 2000s, I think 2002, and I watched it for about 20 seconds or so before cloud cover came in. It was just before it was dark, so it was still fairly light in the sky. The sun was just going down, but you could still make out the sort of like dark blue hue of the actual sky in the background. It appeared to be a solid dark triangular object. I saw no lights on it, and then as I said, after about 20 seconds the cloud cover came in and I couldn't see it any longer. I don't know what it was. It didn't appear to be moving, it appeared to be stationary. And I've always wondered what it was. I'm not making any claims that it's any kind of spacecraft, but in the strictest sense of the word, it was a true UFO. I can't explain it to this day. I would love to be able to. And I've seen many other objects over the years, but that particular one is the most relevant for this video anyway, isn't it? Because we're talking about triangles. But I myself have seen a triangle and would love to know what it is. Maybe one day, maybe not. Anyway, there's some triangle videos. Let me know what you think. Stick it in the comment section below. And, maybe you know what they are and I don't. But take care, and until next time, everybody take it easy. Goodbye for now.